Hale, today we're going to talk about another method for data collection, and that method is called observational studies. What you might guess from the word observational is that this is something we are going to observe. We will talk about experiments in the next couple of lessons. And in experiments, we have some control over what happens, control over some of the variables. In an observational study, the most important thing to know is that there is no control element. So we are not influencing the conditions of the study at all. What we're doing is observing what is happening or what has happened. There's two forms of observational studies, prospective and retrospective. In retrospective, we look at past data. In prospective studies, we collect data in the now. So here's an example of a prospective observational study. We have two groups of randomly selected students, and we place them into two different programs. And these are college students. One group of students takes a general studies program, and the other group takes a specified major. So, for example, a business major, an engineering major, a math major. And then at the end of the year, we are looking at grade point averages. So we are not controlling any element here other than we have, and in fact, we're not placing them in these groups. We are selecting them from these groups. So we're getting a stratified random sample of general studies majors and then specific majors. So they've chose their enrollment. We haven't chosen it for them. That wouldn't be right. And so what we're doing is we're then comparing the GPAs of students who are enrolled in a general studies program and the GPAs of the randomly selected students who are enrolled in one of those specific major programs. And so this is prospective because we select the students we want to study, and then we observe their grade point averages as they go along in their first year. This is an example of a retrospective study here where we have some pets that have unfortunately died of kidney failure. And so what we would do is probably dig into these pets' medical histories to try and draw some conclusions or make some connections between their deaths. This is looking back at past already collected information. Again, we haven't controlled anything about this study. The pets had kidney failure, they died, and so we're just trying to do some research and try to connect some dots here on potentially what is causing the kidney failure in these cats and dogs. So here I have two observational studies here. I want you to determine for both of them if they're prospective or retrospective. And in fact, before we do this, I'm gonna roll back here and discuss the parameter of study and then the subjects we studied. So in this study here, the parameter of study, the thing that we're interested in, the thing that we're interested in knowing is GPA. So that's the parameter. That is the measure we are interested in knowing. And in this case, our subjects are the students. Let me just format this a bit. So the parameter is the thing that we're measuring, and then the subjects are the things we are, or the people, not the things, the people are in the next example, the pets that we are measuring them about. And so here our parameter of study might be maybe previous illness cause of death, that type of thing. And then our subjects here are the cats and dogs that we would be researching their deaths. So in these two observational studies, I want you to first determine if you think it is a prospective study or a retrospective study. Is this something we are digging back into some old information and data, or is this something where we are collecting data in the here and now? What is it that we're trying to find out about? What is that parameter that we're interested in? And then who or what are the things that we collected that information on? So try these two. If you need help while you're working through them, always ask, and then press play for the answers. So the first one is a little tricky because we are actually looking at past observational studies that have been done, but they are past observational studies. And so it's data that has already been collected. And so this is actually a retrospective observational study done on 3 old prospective observational studies. What they're looking at are the attendance of students and then their incidence of depression. And then, of course, the subjects here would be the students in those 3 past observational studies. Depression is probably maybe too specific, that we are looking for students who are at risk. So their attendance and then their measurement of whether or not they're at risk. In the next one, we have a prospective study. We're following 200 older men and women, measuring their blood pressure, and then giving them some sort of test on memory and reaction time. So the things we're measuring are blood pressure, memory, and reaction time. And our subjects, of course, are those 200 older men and women. So I do have some practice for you. If you have any questions you want to get cleared up before you go ahead and practice, please do that. While you're working through these, if you need any clarification or any help, please ask. Please feel free to ask before you get too far. Take your time on these, and good luck.